Summer episode, post 4th of July, pre All-Star game, pre your favorite YouTubers who did all the card show stuff. Now they're moving on to either older MLB The Show games, MVP baseball games, or NCAA football 25, because they acting like ain't nobody privy. Welcome all and welcome one. Not to say I won't buy it myself, but welcome one, welcome all to the Gaming Kitchen stream of Ballpark Building. I feel like that's Yale. Happy Friday Eve, Yale, if that is you. So, not going to be long here. Just got to find my it's almost complete. I really didn't intend to stay this long on it, but there's very much so intricate things that have to be done with this in order to move on properly. So I would love to move on to it as well. Hopefully I get it done today. I would like to get out of here at 6 o'clock. Stop by my favorite corner store and see if I can get a muffin and some maybe some coffee or something. So yeah, what are we going to talk about today? What's the topic? What am I going to move with? What am I going to go with? Talk about the current climate of your fellow cardhead Diamond Dynasty YouTubers who all of a sudden now found out that MVP baseball is cool, as they are starting to abandon ship known as MLB The Show 24. They're starting to abandon ship as they have come to understand that this iteration of the show for them is a utter show in itself. And so now they're looking to make a profit in profiting off of old baseball video games that no one has played. I'm just doing Camden Yards the most accurate way that SDS has not been able to do so. That's it. It's like Camden Yards is a very complex ballpark to work on, and if you do not change your ballparks and if you do not change them, then this is what you're going to run into. So I got to get the bullpen picnic area straightened out. I got the upper deck straightened out, so I just got to do some finishing stuff. I'm almost done. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it will most likely be done before tomorrow. I keep promising myself that. So you're going to find a lot of YouTubers who are not ballpark creators start to jump ship, if you must, and they're going to start cleverly doing it in a way where it's like, look, guys, I randomly stumbled upon MLB MVP baseball 2005. Look, guys, I randomly stumbled across Diamond Dynasty and MLB The Show 21. Like, it's going to come. It's going to happen. They're not going to tell you that the reason why they abandoned ship is because MLB The Show 24 has turned into a disappointment on a lot of levels in regards to the Diamond Dynasty community. As I said before, and I say it again, if your community that you are working on is your bread and butter, is your cash cow, it would be in your best interest that if you're going to ignore anybody within your community, it would be best for you to ignore the people that don't bring your money in. And that's something they screwed up on. So, yeah, that's where it's at. So you're going to be seeing a lot of your favorite YouTubers coming out with videos of let's play triple play baseball 2002. Let's play that. Now, us old school gamers, we know a thing or two about triple play baseball, which used to be triple play baseball 2002, triple play baseball 2001, which was on the PlayStation 2 back in the day. People who are privy to that, you know what's up. Most likely, if you do remember those games coming out, you are most likely in your 30s now or your 40s. And never forget the things in which EA did right. Never forget the things that EA did right when it came to baseball games. EA Canada made the baseball games. EA Tiburon made Madden. I think EA Canada made the baseball games, and they made the basketball games and the hockey games back then. You said EA Tiburon. You said EA Tiburon, EA Canada, and EA something else. I forgot who made the soccer games, but the FIFA ones were really good back in the day. So, like I said, not trying to be, snarky in what I say, but it's just basically pinpointing the sign of the times that your your YouTubers are jumping ship. They're jumping ship and they're trying to ease their way into they're jumping ship and they're trying to ease their way into college football 25, which coincidentally is going to have an ultimate team, a mutt if you must. So they're going to be doing their card collecting over there or whatever. And that's how you move, ladies and gents, to what makes you money. And you know how to leave a sinking ship. Because ultimately, SDS has no one to blame but themselves for the direction in which this game currently went into. But, your favorite YouTubers who are a part of that whole community of Diamond Dynasty folks are starting to migrate to older baseball games that'll kill some time, and then they're going to go on to college football 25, which is weird because I remember coming up, there was special groups of YouTubers or YouTube content. Like most of the time, like the people who do the baseball stuff, you rarely ever got to see them cross paths and do the baseball stuff, and you rarely ever got to see them do Madden stuff. Usually all that stuff was very much so segregated. There's already a Camden Yards in the game. Jay Cliff, I'm going to let you sit up here and guess for a second why I'm redoing it. And if you give me the correct answer, I'll be one happy camper. So let me ask you a question, Jay Cliff, since you wanted to say that. Why would a person do another version of Camden Yards in this game? Why would they, Jay Cliff? Why would they do another version, Jay Cliff? Baseball Mac Attack, hello? All right, Jay Cliff, asking you a question. Why would a person do a version of a ballpark that's already in the game? Floor is yours. Go ahead. Don't be shy. I need an answer. Time's ticking, Jay Cliff. What's your answer? What's your answer, Jay Cliff? The question again for you, and I'll ask it yet again. Why would a person want to do a ballpark that's already in the game? If they can within their means, why would they want to do it? Going once, going twice, and he's probably not here anymore. So let me answer the question to a person who wants to come in with that type of thing. I don't know. Yeah, of course he did. Of course, they always do. Let me answer this question because, there are still intelligent people in this world, and I want to make sure people understand that there are intelligent people in this world, that we're all not of this new world order where we make people like the Hawk Tuah girl famous. Let me Baseball Mac Attack, you're awesome. I love you, man. Let me explain to people who will listen. There's two reasons why you would do a ballpark that's already in the game. Okay? The first reason you would do it is because the version that is in the game is not era compatible to what you envision or what you would want to see. Okay? That's reason number one. Reason number two, the other reason why you would do it is so that you can become accustomed to building ballparks that are highly complex, and you can see what goes into it. You can see what they're missing, which, by the way, SDS is not perfect. They're missing quite a lot of detail in Camden Yards, just as much as I'm going to miss detail in my stuff. But there's an excuse for mine. Mine is a ballpark builder, and they're actually programmers of a game that makes over maybe $1 million. That's why you would do it. I have Shea Stadium in this game. The classic version of Shea Stadium is not the era-specific version that I want to see. I want to see the 1964 to 1969 version, and that's why you do that. So when a person comes in, all right, and they come in, and I'm old enough and a little bit smart, I've looked both ways walking down one street roads enough in my life to acknowledge this. But when a person comes in and says something like that to me, they're already coming in with the energy of operating from bad faith. Okay? It's to say, hey, dum-dum, you know that there's already something in this game, right? That's the energy you're coming at me with. Okay? So when someone comes in and comes at you like that, and the way they word stuff, and they get called out, and then they run out of the thing, what they're doing is they're basically being a bunch of pansies. That's what they're being. It's you're operating in bad faith, okay? Because if you really wanted to entertain the conversation, you would ask the question in a more respectful manner, because I don't know you nor care to, but because you come in, you are a welcome guest. Therefore, I will treat you with the same respect that you treat me. So if you ask the question, you say, hey, quick question for you. Now, hey, I noticed that this ballpark's already in the game. Like, why would somebody want to build it again? Okay, cool. I'll give you a good answer. But when you come in and you say, hey, you already know that this ballpark's already in the game, right? You're already coming in from a disrespectful point of view. And I don't like disrespectful people. Especially disrespectful people on the internet who I'm probably never going to meet and never going to see. Because more than likely, they're cowards when you meet them in real life. So that's where we're starting off with. If you want to come into this room, fine, so be it. I've dealt with numerous people who've done this in the past where they sit up here and they criticize the ballpark and they say all this stuff. And, hey, this is wrong. And, hey, that's wrong. I don't take kindly to it. Okay? I don't have the time. I'm too old for it. I don't give a crap. So this is how I'm going to operate. All right? Here's the golden rule. Treat others as you would want to have yourself be treated. If you want to come in here, it's an open room. I ain't getting paid for this crap. This ain't monetized. Probably never will be. We're going to come in here. I'm going to build stuff. If you want to come in, you want to talk, you want to shoot the breeze, you are more than welcome to come in and talk the breeze and shoot the crap. I will gladly listen to you. Okay? All right? Come in. Say some passive-aggressive stuff. I can't ban you. All I'm going to do is just say, look, bro, you want to come in with that type of energy, I'll match your energy, and you're not going to like it. Okay? That's it. Bottom line. Okay? All right? There's a simple problem with this new generation, and I hate to sound like this old guy that says, get off my lawn, but there is a problem with this new generation that is coming up that are, as I call, and Daquan Wiltshire, if anybody knows who he is, he says it a little bit differently. I'm not going to copy from what he says, but there are people who are, in my honest perception, are privy to internet communication, which means that when they get online and they get behind a keyboard, they feel the need to think that they can just say whatever they want to whomever they want, however they want. And there's no consequences that happens to them. And I've seen this happen numerous times, okay? As I grew up playing outside, and I've realized that this new generation grows up with streamers like Neon and all these types of weirdos that stay online and say disrespectful stuff and all this type of crap. I'm here to tell you that the real world does not work like that at all, okay? The real world works as follows. If you're respectful to people, people will be respectful to you. If you are not respectful to people, people will have carte blanche to be rude to you by any means necessary. Okay? So I welcome all people here. If you have a question about ballparks, if you want to build ballparks, I will talk about current events. I will talk about the trash that's happening around the gaming world. I will talk about how you as a gamer deserve more than what you're getting. I will talk about those things in a free and open space. But one thing I will not entertain is people who feel like they can just say whatever they want and be disrespectful. Bottom line. Okay? I'm old school. I didn't grow up online. I didn't grow up playing Fortnite. I didn't grow up doing none of that stuff. I grew up in the real world. Okay? Be respectful, and respect shall come back to you. All right? That's the end of my lecture. Now, somebody else in here who is 16. Your favorite ballparks is from the 80s. So are you a type of person who like cookie cutters or stuff like that? Well, like what's your, like why do you feel gravitated towards that type of era of ballparks? All right, we are getting into 6 o'clock. Man, time flying. Oh, you like 80s music? Well, it is by far one of the greatest decades of music. It's honestly, historically, it is by far, it's kind of like the Renaissance era, where you've had Michelangelo, Raphael. Actually, Raphael came later. So you had Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and all of that. And so if you look at that era of 80s music, you tend to see that an era where you have a lot of talent cohesively and collectively in one place, which has never been seen ever again. Late 80s. Late 80s. His father played with him a little bit, Seattle Mariners, before he retired. '80s, my man. That's you're 16. That's 2000, 2008, 2009. 2009, 2019 is 10. Yeah, so you're like, yeah, 2008. Okay. I was 20 years old in college. That was a long time ago. Well, actually, no. For me, it doesn't seem like it's that long ago. It seems like it was just like yesterday. Um, wow, man. Yes, baseball Mac Attack. I'm literally old enough to be your great 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 grandfather. 20 years, my boy. 20 years. That was a 20-year gap. That was I was in college. I was registering to vote at that time. That's one of my favorite years too. 2008, 2019, the summer, and that's that. You guys are the generation that, in all honesty, these games are pointed towards. It won't be. I don't. The thing is that I've had this YouTube account for about. I've had this YouTube account, I would say, since 2015. I've been on YouTube actually about maybe 2 years before you were born. And YouTube was different back then. More people should come in, but the thing about it is, and like, I'm not trying to big bro you or anything. It's just that I've been around in life, and if you've been around long enough, you tend to, I'll give this advice to you, because I'm not trying to big bro you or anything. I'm just trying to spread my knowledge, at least what I've learned in life. If it's one thing I've learned in life, and it's more evident in this generation, and in this society, this current society more than ever, is that you will find as you get older that there are a lot of things in life that are not fair. You will find that being being the kindness won't necessarily get you where you want to go. You will find out that life is more like The Empire Strikes Back than A New Hope. You will find it out. You will find it out in life that once you get out here in the real world and you feel like you're talented, you have skills and abilities and all these great things, and you will sit up there and you will watch somebody who is far less talented than you. And I sound arrogant saying this. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but sometimes you got to pop up and show up, motherfuckers. There's going to come a time in your life where you're going to sit up there and you're going to see everybody gets it at some point. You put the work in, you're talented, you do photography, you do graphic design, you sketch, you draw, you make good music, you make better music than what's actually out here on the radio. And the person who literally does a hawk tour will get over $130 million. They'll be in pictures with Shaquille O'Neal. They will get all the national claims. They'll be Time Person of the Year. And you will sit up there and you will say to yourself, what the hell? And at that moment, you will understand the reason why people will tell you that life is simply not fair. It is not meant to be fair. And to be fair, the world does not owe anybody any explanations. But I will say, things like that do make you stop and say, So when it comes to me and my YouTube account and why I don't have people here, I don't know. I don't know why people don't come by and say hello. I don't know why people don't stop by and subscribe. I don't know why. I will say this. I don't put very much effort into this YouTube account anymore. I used to a long time ago. I used to make videos and thought pieces and stuff like that. And even then, it wasn't that much. It was like maybe 65 views here, and I probably maybe get like 20 cents or $20 or whatever before Adpocalypse kicked up and messed up everything. Life is like that. You look at Hollywood, for example. How many actors and actresses fall to the wayside and like never get a career, they never get a movie, they just forever just become starving artists because they never broke through. But the people that break through are the ones who, sit up there and do fart jokes and stuff like that. It's like, it's like, I don't know if you ever seen The Simpsons, but like The Simpsons had this one episode, this is a long time ago, where there was this guy with glasses. And he worked on the job with Homer Simpson. And he sat up there and he looked at Homer Simpson and was basically saying, it's like, I don't understand it. Like, you get lobster. You have a whole family at home. You have all these things given to you. How? You are a buffoon. Like, you literally are stupid. How do you get these types of things? And you will find yourself, and I'm not trying to be, jaded or negative. I'm just being real. You will find yourself in a lot of those situations in your young life when you get out here in the real world, and you'll realize that the world favors stupidity. That's just the way that it is. The world favors stupidity. In a world where a person who literally makes an obscene joke and just happens to be in the right place at the right time, gets national acclaim, gets pictures taken with Shaquille O'Neal, gets articles done by the Rolling Stones magazine. You have to sit back and you have to ask yourself, what type of world are you in right now? I think it's more so a question for you, because this is your era, this is your time, more so than what it is my era and my time. But when you turn 18, you'll be in your 20s, and I truly believe, and I don't want to be a dystopian type of person, but I have to tell the truth and be honest, that this world is going to need a lot of intelligent people. This world is going to need a lot of smart people. This world is going to need a lot of people who are talented and will become famous because they say the right things. Unfortunately, right now, you live in an era right now where saying stupid things, being brainless, doing brainless stuff is deemed to be popular and in vogue and just downright the in thing. It's like Idiocracy. It's like the movie Idiocracy, where people were watering their plants with electrolyte drinks because they thought that it would actually work, and they were dehydrating the plants and killing them. That's the era that we're in right now. And, I want to be optimistic. I want to be positive, because you are the future. You are the youth in this world. You are going to be the one that will hopefully help people like me across the street when I'm 80-some years old. But I am not going to, I ain't going to hold you, kid. Folks are mad dumb out here, bro. And, that's why. That's why. That's why people don't get, acclaim. And you look at YouTube, YouTube works by algorithm system. So, they promote who they want to promote. They put forward who they want to put forward. And it's a lot of brainless, mindless, thoughtless content that don't tell people to think for themselves. It's a lot of like and subscribe, hit the bar, hit the bell. We need tribalism. We need people like this. People like me don't get that, because I'm not interested in tribalism. I don't care if you join me, think like me, talk like me. The only thing I ask people to do, even on this page right here, is I ask people to, yeah, I did. I'm just spitting right now, because if I don't spit right now, I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. The only thing I ask of people who come here, when they come to my page, is the following. If you are an adult, say hello, shoot the breeze, let's talk about stuff if you want to talk about it. Let's go if you want to go, and I'm okay. If you are a person who is 15, 16, 17, you're a minor, underage, ask questions within reason, because obviously you're here. This is the only time I actually talk to people this age. I don't seek minors at all. I'm not a teacher, I'm not your guidance counselor, I'm not your savior, I'm not your friend. So if you do come by, say something, I'll say hello, thanks for watching, and if you need help with anything, do what you got to do. Most importantly, your parents you should be talking to, and your guidance counselors and all those types of things you should be talking to. Not some old-ass dude online doing streams building ballparks. But that's it. And all I ask is be respectful. I will share my knowledge of whatever I can when I can, and that's it. What's up? And if people want to subscribe, be sure to subscribe. If people want to use Cash App, be sure to use Cash App. And that's that. I am in control of nothing else. And I am perfectly okay feeling like that. That's it. So that's my long-winded explanation as to why I don't have followers on this thing. Because, that's just the way of the world. I create ballparks. I don't, I don't sit up here and do this whole, trading card Diamond Dynasty BS. It doesn't interest me. It just doesn't. It's crooked. I might have to get that later. Good talking to you, kid. Take your time. Do whatever you got to do. Read a book if you have to. Okay, I don't know what that is, but that's going. That's weird. All right, bro. Yeah, I get people who come through. Yeah, what's up, man? There's gotta be a way to clean this up. Questions, inquiries, surveys, how-tos, can-tos, what can we do better-tos, what you got? All right, we got this. No smoking. All this for a damn foot sander. Can you do Doubleday Field in Cooperstown, New York? No promises, but if I do get around to it, fine. I may not get around to it. Stadium Center, what's up? I may not get around to it, but how about this, kid? I'll do one better for you. Instead of me giving you a fish, I'll teach you how to fish. You come back here on a stream sometime or you leave a comment, and if you want to build it, if you have the game, I'll show you how to build it I'll show you how to build it or write it to you how to build it. How about that? Or I'll do a tutorial or something. How about that? How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? We have the wonderful, talented Stadium Center in here now. See this one thing I like to do, and this is one thing I like to do. I like to give back to people. A lot of people think that money is a way to do it. Money is an effective way to give back, but knowledge and skills and learning is an even more so effective way to give back to people. Like, I don't like sitting up here, like, I'm a huge proponent of, here's my philosophy on building stuff. If nobody ever learned it, here's another one of my diatribes. Here's my philosophy, okay? I will never, this goes to a person, if you have a painter who goes to your house, if you have a person who paints, I will say this straight up, and I'll be honest. Anybody you ask to come in and do stuff for you, whether it be carpentry, whether it be housework, whether it be plumbing or anything, initially that person is only going to care as much as they're passionate about what they're doing for you. People don't understand, or if they do, they don't grasp the concept that is so significant about having skill, that when a person does something for another person, it takes a level of empathy and it takes a level of interest that is not seen often by people. So when you build something for someone, you have to legitimately give a rat's ass about what you're building. Okay? People don't tell you that. They don't cop to it. They just take your money and be like, all right, I'll build this, I'll build that, build this. But you have to be just as passionate about what you're building for the person that wants you to build it as much as you would be building it for yourself. So if somebody came to me and told me, hey, man, can you do Yankee Stadium? Which I've already done, but whatever. I'd be like, yeah, sure. I have to be just as interested in doing Yankee Stadium for that person as much as I'm interested in doing Camden Yards for myself. See, that's called being genuine. You know, that's the thing. So for me, when I don't feel interested or have the interest, I'll tell a person, hey, listen, man, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't give a crap about building your ballpark. You know, Home Depot Field in Timbuktu, Ohio, that has a one Burger King that works and a McDonald's with an ice cream machine that functions. Like, I'm not that interested in it. But here's what I can do. Like, I can show you how to build it. I can give you the tips and trade. Well, I don't know how to build it. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. I'd rather do that than take your money. No, hey man, go do your thing, bro. Do whatever you got to do. I'll be getting out of here soon too. I got to hit up the gym. I went out and checked this barbecue place out yesterday that had like two cats run out. Bro, hey, listen, bro, listen. Do whatever you got to do. If my stream ends and you come back and it's over with, hey, it's A-okay. A-okay. Live your life, little bro. So anyway, I went to this barbecue place yesterday, and I saw these two stray cats running out. And this one gray cat just stared at me as I'm driving. And I'm looking at the cat, and I put my hands up, and I'm like, yo, are you going to move? Dude, I'll be honest with you. I love dogs, but if it's anything that has more favoritism to me, is a street cat. I love a street cat. And you know why I love a street cat? Because no one will ever teach you how to survive better than a street cat. Street cats, if you have a mouse in your house and you have a street cat in your neighborhood, if you make a deal with that street cat, and that street cat is an assassin. That street cat is a gun for hire. Like your Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone films, where he was that mysterious dude with the I forgot what they're called. They're not capes. They're with not the sombrero. It's I'll call it a sash, even though it's not a sash. Well, you got the stats around. That's a street cat. You put a street cat, you get a street cat in your house, and they know how to communicate to you. You get a street cat, and you be like, listen, I got a mouse problem in my house. Okay? You know what I got you here for. You put that street cat in your house for a day. Take up all your glue traps, take up your mouse traps, take up all that stuff, because even though it's street smart, they'll screw up and do something dumb. You take up all that stuff and you put your stray cat in that daggone house, right? And I'm gonna tell you something, you ain't gonna have a mouse problem anytime soon. That street mouse, that street cat is all you need for survival. And that's a fact. Now, street dogs, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to legitimately, I got to get this straightened out, then that won't be a problem. But most importantly, I'm trying to go around and pick stuff that is excessive and doesn't need to be obtained anymore so that I can just ease in and do what I need to do. So basically all I have to do left is get this area straightened out here, get the leveling right. I got to get the fencing right. I already got the Sports Legends Museum here. The warehouse is looking somewhat good. I just got to do the other side of that and then that. So it's mostly just nitpicking and taking care of the small stuff. If that answers your question, because it's very limiting in regards to let's see what we got here. Google, bring up ballpark bullpen garden. Google, bring up bullpen garden at Camden Yards. Yeah, my only problem is that I get off work at 4, so I only have about at least an hour and a half to 2 to try and get stuff right. But one thing I found is that, that's why I try to keep it at a solid, maybe 82%, maybe, because the thing about it is that once you get past 60 and you get into 70, you're like, okay, cool. That's good time. We call them graveyard shifts. The old night crew versus day crew mentality. I used to, when I was in college, I used to do both of them. I used to do night shift, and I used to do morning shift. And the amount of shit that people talk about behind people's backs, between morning and night shift is so true. Because you go in a night shift, and night shift is laid back because everybody know all the kiss asses and all the kiss asses, all the brown nosers, all the boss pleasers, all the micromanagers, they all work day shift. Now, when you get on night shift, all the people who are cool, all the people who want to do just a little bit of work, they come in. But when you come in a morning shift, you be like, man, night shift ain't do nothing. People won't cop to it, but I'll cop to it because I ain't got nothing to lose. Morning shift thinks night shift people don't do anything. And night shift people think morning shift people are a bunch of tightwads. That's just it. And that feeling is never going to change. It's never going to change. It's always going to be oil versus water in regards to that, and it's never going to change. But yeah, like once you get to, Oh yeah, you work a casino. Okay. We got a couple here in Maryland. We got a couple. You got Horseshoe, which is located in Baltimore, which is actually not far away from Camden Yards. And you got Maryland Live, which is, in my honest opinion, a whole lot better than, whole lot better. I like the ambiance. I like, Horseshoe needs work around that area. You know, no offense to people. I love Baltimore. Baltimore will always be in my heart, you know, but if I'm going down to a casino and I want to have a good time, like I want to go somewhere. Horseshoe was built probably early around the 2010s or so. That area that's by Camden Yards and by M&T Bank Stadium down there, it's got Top Golf that's come up. Top Golf that's come up. It's got the new stuff, but the main issue with it is that it's about location, and you know, Anne Arundel Mills is a whole lot better, man. Maryland Live is just it's freaking. I love that place, man. Like, you give me a casino that has a hotel and has brunch options, I'm pretty much set. I'm a simple dude, man. Like, I try to tell people all the time, man, bro, like, you don't need to get like a 20-day vacation to the Bahamas. You can have the same fun in life going down the street to your 7-Eleven. And people be looking at me crazy when I say that. I'm like, it's true. Like, I love the simple things in life. Always have, always will. And Top Golf is freaking amazing. Speaking about that golf thing, I did the upper deck golf thing about a couple of weeks back. Bit pricey. I didn't pay for it. I paid to quote unquote volunteer. It's a bit pricey, but you know, it was fun. You get to go around the ballparks and stuff like that and hit. And I was just either A, too rusty, or B, suck at golf. So I never really had a chance to hit anything significant. But it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was definitely pretty cool. I would definitely do it again. 60 an hour. Damn. Sometimes I see dudes that go on dates to Top Golf, and I'm like, you're either in a relationship that's really good. You must have known this girl for a long time, or you must be Bruce Wayne. They go on a first date to Top Golf. I feel like Top Golf is like the Ruth's Chris of like golfing fun, like mini golf and stuff. It's like there's certain things like where you go to, it's like you have to be in a relationship that's been around for a while before you know. I would never go on a first date to a Top Golf thing. That's one way to look at it. I wish they would do that with like baseball. You know what I mean? Like if they would do like a Top Golf, but instead of it like being golf, it would be like baseball, and you could like hit home runs or something in like a certain like designated area. That'd be pretty cool too. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you seriously have to, I feel like those are places that you would take your girlfriend if you've been with her for, like, an X amount of years, your fiance, your wife, your friends that you've known for a while. You know, first dates, nah. Oh, really? Oh, that's legit. Those things are fun because it kind of reminds me of like what EA used to do with MVP baseball, where like you'd be in a practice mode and you hit like a home run, and like it would go up the conveyor belt and go off the field and stuff. Those things are fun. That's legit. That's legit, man. That's what I'm talking about. Give me some of that. But yeah, that's what they got to open up there. So I mean, it's kind of coming along. But the problem is that you need the funding down there in the city. And the thing is, like, they were just about to open up a rock concert hall, but that fell through because the contractors didn't get paid. So you have a whole new building that hasn't been worked on, and it's already got graffiti. You should do it. You know what? They have enough carnivals and all that type of stuff in here, roller coaster rides and everything. I'd do it. I did it for Exhibition Stadium. For I think it's saved. I think I did last year, so it should be in this game. Exhibition Stadium is like that. They had like a carnival and all that type of stuff. Custom ballparks are very difficult to do because of the fact that like it's all about like trying to have an idea and trying to figure out like where to start out from because you have no template, like you don't have anything to like go on. It's just straight up like where do I start from, like what do I build, where do I go, like what concession stands do I make. A lot of problems that people make when they build new ballparks is that like they put the concession stands, they have like 80 some concession stands there, and they put like all these stores, all these jumbotrons, all this stuff in there and everything, and it just creates a whole issue to where like it doesn't look like a real ballpark anymore. It just looks like somebody went, convenience store happy and started putting all this stuff in there to where it doesn't even look like a ballpark anymore. There's a guy on here, I think it's Gopper, Gopper. I always coin him as the silent creator because he's like the antithesis of me. Like he just, I think it's Gopper Gaming or something. He builds ballparks and stuff, and he emphasizes the fact that like building them as realistically as possible. And yeah, Gopper Gaming. And he just builds them as realistic as possible. Dude just minds his business, stays to himself. He just builds his ballparks. I think he was recently working on like a Rays ballpark. He is he actually, in all honesty, I always talk about the first generation ones, the ballpark creators, the ones who were here from like MLB The Show 21. He's one of them. He's one of them. And I always call him the silent creator. That dude he gets on stream. He doesn't do the crap I do, where you just complain about SDS and patches and stuff. He just builds ballparks and he just rolls with it. And his stuff looks ultra realistic. And it's amazing what he can pull off. It's just the number one rule that just less is more. Like a lot of people make that mistake that like when they get on here and they build all this stuff, they're like, oh, I need to stack all this stuff up. And it's like, nah, like less is more. Like study ballparks, look at what's realistic. There was a guy that came on here before, and I told him how to do stuff, and a lot of what I told him how to do is like comes from him. It's like I'm more of a very I'm the type of person where, like, I want to get as much detail as possible because even though I know it's a game and I know that there's not much that I know that there's not much that you can do when you get to 82% or stuff like that. So what I try to do is squeeze out just as much as I can, get as much as I can out of it, and then move on. and then be at peace with it. When it comes to me, I don't solicit advice to building ballparks unless someone asks me, because I feel like it's kind of like Michelangelo trying to tell like Raphael how to paint. It's like you have to find your own style. I don't think that there's a wrong way or a right way to do stuff, but I feel like the only time it becomes a wrong way is when you don't feel satisfied from what you build. And if it gets to that point and you feel like that, then ultimately you have to do a come to Jesus moment and say to yourself, well, all right, cool. Like, what am I trying to achieve when I build this ballpark? You know, if I do a custom ballpark, am I aiming for something am I trying to be realistic? Am I aiming for fantasy? Where do I want to go with this? Do I want to get better? Do I want to build realistic ballparks? Or do I just want to, stay in that? Gopper has straight to the point, fantastic stuff. Listen to him. A lot of his ballparks are realistic. He knows how to take a lot of assets. Like, he took the construction crane. I would have never thought about that, but now that he showed me how to do that, then, I tell people all the time, I have no shame in sitting up here and telling you, hey, dude, I have no idea. There's somebody out here who knows more than me. And it works. It works. That guy is a beast. Right. I honestly used to make videos. I used to make videos using Windows Movie Editor or something like that. And once my laptop stopped having it, I just was like, dude, there's too much software out here that I have to become accustomed to learning, and I just don't have the time anymore to do it. I do too. I gotta remember that. I like, because you guys, when you guys do your live streams, like, you guys have like music that's like not copyrighted. My shit be getting like strikes all the time because I'm just like, I just do. Hey, I'm gonna do this overhang and then I'm gonna head out. I'll come back, work on this tonight, and then because I want to get, the only thing which I need to get is I need to get this bullpen, because I already got everything there. I just need to level it out. This is somewhat done. And then I'm just going to be starting to do the exterior. If I can get out of this with like maybe 86, 87%, then that means I can do the surrounding area, I can do the streets, I can do the parking lots and all that type of stuff. When I first, like, I tell people, like I came into this in MLB The Show 21, and, there were a lot of YouTubers who were building, like, just trying to figure stuff out. And a lot of the classic stuff didn't start. Strides weren't getting hit until around maybe August, September, October 2021, when, like, your people were coming in and they were starting to, like, say, screw this. Like, we're putting up stands together, we're lowering parking lots and all this type of stuff. And that's when people were starting to get a general sense of like where things was going. Me personally, I didn't start making ballparks good until I realized that, like, you have to sacrifice something for something. If you're doing Memorial Stadium, you have to understand that, like, the shape that you're doing Memorial Stadium in, like, you are destined to like, you are perennially destined to curve stuff, have fans sitting underneath concrete, have all that type of stuff, because the options to edit stuff is so limited in this mode that that's just the way you're going to have to go. And if you want your ballparks to look more like the ballparks that you want to look like, that's what you're going to have to do. And once Blue and Gold 76, he started doing his in MLB The Show 21. 22, he fell off. I don't know where he went. I don't know what he's doing now. He doesn't do them anymore. I guess it got to be too time consuming. But, I studied all of them. I figured out what they were doing, and I just ventured off and started doing my own thing. I was like, all right, cool, fine. If I want to do this, then that's just it. I got a couple of custom ones that I want to do that are in my head to do, and I got the designs for them and inspirations and stuff. Once I get done with this, then things will get a little bit clearer. But that's how you do it. But yeah, like I said before, there's so many people who started out on MLB Show 21, and when MLB Show 22 came out with their stadium builder, and a lot of them realized that the mode didn't change that much, and then with 22, you had this issue where your ballparks were turning generic because it reached a certain memory point. People were like, man, screw this stuff. I'm going on to other stuff. I know I did. I missed out on at least a good 2 to 3 months of building ballparks that year because SDS couldn't get their head out their butt and fix stuff properly and get stuff to where it sucks. You lose people in your games for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons that you'll lose them is A, you don't change, and B, you change too much. That's what you're seeing with the Diamond Dynasty community. That's why you got a whole bunch of YouTubers now playing MLB The Show 21. A 3-year-old game. That's insanity. So, this overhang is not accurate. Yeah, the whole grind out stuff, because the thing is that SDS has the intentions to turn that into, and I'm not even talking about the developers, I'm talking about the grand scheme of where things are heading to, is that their department this is where they're going to make money from this stuff. I keep trying to, I said that a long time ago. It was when you look at NBA 2K, when NBA 2K started out a long time ago, NBA 2K, you could grind for your VC points if you did Oh, really? Oculus is one of those 3D things, I believe. It somehow reminded me of the Google 3D glasses that were out in the early 2010s. No, Mac. Nobody's deaf here. We're just having a conversation, my guy. In the 2010s, there was a. Wait, were you asking that question out of? You asking that question out of aggression, or were you asking that question because you thought I was deaf? Yeah, Google Glass, that's it. There were a lot of YouTube videos on it. I don't see those Google Glasses anywhere. Somebody wore them at graduation, too. Okay, well, my friend, if you're mad, then here's what you need to do. Take a breather. Take a breather. and reassess, and then come back when you're not mad. So yeah, Google Glass is like that came out in like the early 2010s, and I don't know where that is now. Those things cost so much. They were like, what, $800 or something when they came out? They were like $800 when they came out. Things just have a weird way. I don't know if it's me getting older or something like that. Things just have a weird way of showing up at some point, and then it just disappears, and then you're like, what happened to this? And you're like, it's gone now. You're like, wow, like I just remembered it, but then you realize like this happened like 15 years ago. All right, so I got the upper deck somewhat good. I still got to go back and straighten it up. So my interest of attention is going to be towards the bullpen. Yeah. Yeah. 3D TVs, 8K TVs. The problem with all of that stuff, and it's the same thing about electric cars, I'll go into this little rant here. It won't take too long. Yeah, because anybody can see from a mile away that it wouldn't last, because the problem is with technology is that technology has to be needed in order to be sustainable and successful. So in order for the 3D TVs, in order for the 3D TVs to work the way that they were supposed to work and be as long and last as long as they were supposed to, is you have to have a need for that. So basically, if all of TV decided to switch to 3D, like the way analog switched to digital, if it was like that type of thing, then it would have lasted. If it would have been like the sort of Iceman replacing the refrigerator replacing Iceman type of scenario, yeah, it would have lasted. Then you got a bunch of people stuck with 3D. People don't like 3D that much to like buy a TV dedicated to it. Some technology just comes out to try and test stuff, and then it's like a fail. And you know, the three-piece suit people always you know, suggest stuff. Right. Like they suggest stuff, and then they just try to like. That's the thing about technology that a lot of people don't get. Technology, in order for technology to be effective, it has to be capable of being replaceable for things that need to be replaced in order for it to be needed. So like if you're going to make like eco-friendly cars, making eco-friendly cars is nice and good. It's great. Oh, thanks, man. Like eco-friendly cars is nice and good, right? It's nice and great. But the problem is that when you make an eco-friendly car, you have to look at the intricacies and the economy and everything that relies on you having a successful eco-friendly car. So if everything revolves and relies on coal in your economy, guess what? Your eco-friendly cars don't matter, because you're working on an electric grid, and you're working on a grid in a system that's like, what, 60, 70 years old, 80, 90 years old since the turn of the century. How are you going to impact that? And that's why the eco cars are starting to go the way of the dodo bird too. It's starting to lose in sales. People don't understand why. No, it can't. It can't. When your power grid, you cannot come out with stuff. It's crazy how like business people who make billions of dollars make decisions that people who make tens of dollars would never make. But the thing about it is that if you look at the turn of the century, not to promote the new assets that came into this game, But if you look at the turn of the century and you look at how horses were replaced by cars, you realize that there was a need, there was a necessity, and there was a capability to change and alter the path. Electric cars are great. Electric cars are the future. But you can't have electric cars without having the system itself change to have electric cars as a necessity. So if today or tomorrow you take up coal and coal no longer becomes the number one source of energy and fossil fuels no longer become the number one energy for stuff, guess what? Now you have a way for energy to come in. The system has to change in order for you know what? I'll say it like this. It's kind of like stadium building. Electric cars are the assets, right? But the electric cars are just assets in a mode that still needs improvements and changes in order to enhance and make the assets even better than what you have. So if you have a mode that's glitchy and is all this stuff, it's not feasible. The technology is there. The technology is there. It's just that sometimes you're just a little too ahead of the curve. It's like Back to the Future when Marty McFly was up there doing the shredding, and he was like at a 50s prom, and he was like, you may not get it, but your kids are going to love it. I feel like that's where this is at. It's like, you may not get it, but your kids are going to enjoy it. Sometimes you create stuff and the technology has to catch up to it. And not just the technology, but the necessity that people need have to catch up to it. And if you're not hitting at the right spot at the right time, then, you miss out. And that's true even all the way back to cavemen, when cavemen needed fire to survive. Like, it was a necessity and it was well met. What time do I have here? 6:38. I'm enjoying these streams, man. I'm enjoying these streams. I just feel bad though because I feel like I've been working on this thing for 2 damn weeks. it's like I feel like I've been working on it for years. I hear you there. I wouldn't mind driving a Tesla. I like the Tesla trucks, but the trucks look weird. I ain't gonna lie, they do look kind of weird. It's just you gotta remember to charge. You gotta remember to charge them, because if you don't charge the thing, then you run the risk of like your vehicle not being charged and all that type of stuff. And then you gotta have like charging ports and stuff. See, and I have noticed that there are a lot of areas that have started putting in those charge ports for cars and stuff that I've never seen before. Like oh really? That's cool. I just feel like it'll get there. I just feel like what era we're in now, we're kind of in that era where the technology, like I said before, the technology has to meet the necessity and the scare. And one way to force technology onto the public is to create scarcity. So, yeah, it's just to create scarcity. That's how VCRs got replaced by DVD players. That's how, all that type of stuff. Like scarcity creates it. And the crazy thing is, if there's a bigger push for nostalgia, it'll bring back what people are used to. Like, how many people out here still want vinyl? There was a time where if you walked into a store and you wanted vinyl, people looked at you like you were crazy, because the most popular thing that was in at that time was CDs and cassettes and stuff. But it's like, hell, man, I even remember when Blu-ray went up against HD HD DVDs. I actually remember going back into Target in like 2006, 2007. I think it was like 2006 when there was the HD DVDs versus the Blu-rays, and the HD DVDs lost. And it was just a sense of the technology, what you can get out of it, all that type of stuff. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I'm all for new energy. I'm all for all that stuff. But you know, if you don't have the infrastructure to ease everybody into it, then hey, coal it is. I heard Best Buy is going to start doing the old, they're not having physical products. They're not having physical stuff in their in their stores anymore. I'm I'm a little disappointed in that. I ain't gonna lie. Like me personally, like I love going to Best Buy. I think Best Buy have the best snacks. For a while, I would go into Best Buy and get just get the bacon jerky, save a little bit of money on buying groceries, and at least the Best Buys I went to, I would go because when I had to get a new bank card, the only thing I had was a Best Buy credit card, and that's the only place I can go and buy food. And so I would go and get the bacon jerky because I had eggs at home. And the little secret to the bacon jerky is the bacon jerky you can put in the fryer, put it on low light, and you can fry that bacon back to life. And you can eat it with that. And you have a whole ass breakfast if you do that. Well, as long as they do, man, maybe you and I come from the same generation, so you and I remember Blockbuster videos and Babbage's and EB Games and all this stuff and everything. And I don't know how I feel about like all this. Oh, we don't need physical stores anymore. We got this, we got that. I don't know how I feel about any of that, to be honest with you. I really don't. Nothing beats getting like a physical game the day of the release. You crinkle that plastic, you get the fresh smell. That's that new car smell. If there was like a new game smell, you get that new fresh car smell for your game. All right, I hope so, man. I hope so. I mean, I know eventually at some point it's going to go the way of the dodo bird, but man, I don't know, dude. I grew up like I said, I grew up in an era and a time when stuff was physical. You had to wait in line for it. There was pre-orders. You made phone calls. Dude, I never want that to go away. It's like it just seems like that's why we have a lot of problems in our society today is because Blockbuster and all those places, man, growing up like Friday night, $5 to rent a video game for about 2-3 days. That was Hollywood Video's thing. And that was stuff, man. Like that was it. Like the anticipation to go to a rental, to get a game, you don't know if it's going to be there. You don't know if somebody got it before you. You get a movie, you don't know if somebody got it before you. Like all those things were like cool. Nowadays, everything's at people's hands, and it's like people just don't like. That was a stuff, man. And Blockbuster back then used to have the snack pack. You used to get the movie snacks in there. You get the Blockbuster popcorn, all that type of stuff, man. All that. It's just that when Netflix started out, Netflix did the whole mail-in thing, and it turned into this conglomerate thing now. To where everything's at your hands, everything's at your beck and call, and so you have to ask yourself this question: it's Is it great? Like during COVID, during the pandemic, I get it, I understand. But like the concern is that as soon as our phones got smarter, our society got dumber. Yeah, GameFly is cool. So I forgot that I had my rentals over 60 whole month. It's just to me, man. I just feel like I don't like I just don't like where society's heading, man. It's like we got a whole generation of people who are growing up now who, it's just there has to be a little bit of adversity in life to create character. And in my honest train of thought, like I can't sit up here and say that like taking away Blockbuster, taking away Hollywood Video, taking away all these stores that used to be like a communal type of expressive feeling is a healthy thing. I just don't. I don't see it. You clearly create a generation of people who don't know how to socialize. They don't know how to leave the house. Everything's at their beck and call. If you want to order food and you're too lazy to get it, you got Grubhub, which obviously is a mediocre service since 2021, in my honest opinion. Yeah, you're right. It just there is no sense of there just is not a sense of like communication. There's no sense of like effort. It's like that's why if you look at the dating world and stuff for this new Gen X, like Gen Z, they're screwed. They already don't know how to socialize with people unless they're online. Like you got people that go to school and like they don't talk to one another. These parents say these kids don't talk to one another. They go home and then they go on stream and they talk to their friends in the stream. It's like it's wild stuff, bro. It's like I said, the phones got smarter, the people got dumber. And I just don't know like if that's a good thing. It used to be fun, bro. Like hey, you go to Blockbuster on Friday nights, you go, you get your movie, go home. You may run into people that you don't know, you may run into people you do know. All this stuff's taken away. In 10 years? Well, if there's one thing history has taught me that human beings move in a cycle. What that means is that human beings love nostalgia, but it's an oxymoron. It's kind of a counterintuitive emotional process that human beings love nostalgia, but the things that create nostalgia is human beings being tired of the stuff that creates the nostalgia. So, like, the only reason why we miss Blockbuster is because we hated Blockbuster at one point existing and thought that we could do better than it. And then we realized we couldn't. So now there's this push and move to go back to being as nostalgic as possible. So, I don't think I hope people will catch on, but I think that a lot of things are cyclical, in my honest opinion. I feel that when the pendulum is shifted so far that you have no choice but to revert back to what you feel is normal, if that makes sense. Balance supersedes everything and will always win. But when you don't have balance, you have what you have now, where you have just chaos and disorganization. And that's what creates the problems. That's what ultimately creates the problems. It's you live in an age right now that the only periods that rival it is the existence of the Alexandria Library, which unfortunately is destroyed. And I truly believe, based upon what I've seen in history, that if that library had survived, our society would be more advanced than what it is. But I'll say this. You live in a day and age now where knowledge is rival to almost the turn of the 19th and the 20th century. Within that span of time, from 1900 to 1907, you had the creation of electricity, you had the creation of flight, you had the creation of the automobile. All these human things that are just snap finger geniusness of humanity. And for over 100 years, we went from horse and buggy to gas and electric to lights that can turn on by themselves and stuff like that. You're living in a period of time now where if you have a question about something, you don't even have to look it up. AI will do it for you, which, by the way, is kind of weird because I knew that they were pushing AI on us for some reason. But you don't even have to look it up for yourself. All you have to do is ask AI, hey, AI, what is this? And AI grabs all the knowledge for it. So you don't even have to go through the hard work of extensively researching knowledge for yourself now. Now it's all at your fingertips. But the problem is that with this opportunity to have all this knowledge at your fingertips, you have people who fall for Hawk to a girl. Yes, but see, the thing about it is that I will say this is that with the ability to be fooled, there should be a better ability coming from our society to say, I don't have to trust everything I read, and I shouldn't have to trust everything I read. And the fact that that's not happening is kind of scary. That's kind of scary. Because, we both came up at the same time. We both came up at the same time. When we went to school, when we went to elementary school in the early 90s, there were no laptops. We got sent home with papers to color in an alphabet. Kindergarten was AM and PM class. There was no The problem is that all that stuff we learned in school. I don't understand how my education that was taught in the 90s is more valuable now than what any education that kids are being taught now or what people know now, as to not trust everything that you read or everything that you hear. It's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely a little scary. It's just that it's going to get worse before it gets better. The good thing about it is that, as history said, and I said before and I say it again, life is very cyclical. For every dark age, there's a renaissance. For every renaissance, there's a reformation. I just feel like in this period in time, you have people who are more hell-bent on wanting to be correct than wanting to be knowledgeable. This whole system of tribalism allows people to rush out and just get anything and everything so that they can be on the right side of stuff. And they don't even know why they're on the right side of stuff. They just want to do what they want to do and think the way they want to think so that they can be around other people who think the same way that they think. It's in this day and age of intellectual debate and enlightenment, it should be a period of intellectual debate and enlightenment. You should be able to sit down and have intellectual conversations with someone and not ultimately rebuke them because they're not sharing the same ideas that you're sharing. It's like disagreeing with someone without being violently disagreeable. And unfortunately, that doesn't work in today's time. Because today's time is about tribalism. It's about who can I find who is a free thinker just like me. And if you don't think like me, or if you say something that shakes and rattles my foundation to the core, I have to get rid of you and get away from you and alienate you and vilify you because you are literally changing the whole crux of my existence. People believe wholeheartedly nowadays that like the philosophies that they learn, the stuff that they're taught, the things that they say out their mouths, that if it's proven wrong, it literally denies the entire existence of their entire life. They wouldn't know what to do if they're wrong because they wrap their identities up in what they follow and what they believe. They don't think for themselves. They don't ask the questions that most people should be asking for themselves. And that's where you get the problems at. Until that changes, it'll get worse before it gets better. You know, it's just like the dude who came in here earlier and was like, "You do know, like, this ballpark's in the game, right?" It's like, what made you, in your thought process, to come in and talk to a stranger that you don't know like that and not think for just a second, well, maybe this person's building something that they want to build because it's a version that's not in the game. Maybe. But instead of staying and being corrected, that individual flees and runs. It's like you didn't learn a single thing. Like that's our society now. Like you got people like that go out here in this world and act like that. Like what do you gain from that? Like what knowledge? I'm not gonna sit up here and be nice. Like I'm gonna sit up here and I have a philosophy in my life. I don't make people stupid. I don't call people stupid. You call yourself stupid by your actions and what you say. So if you come in here and you act like a smart aleck and you want to say something like that, okay, cool. I'll ask you the question. Why would you want to build something that's already in the game? That's just like saying, "Oh man, you have you have a 1999 and 2001 Mustang. Why would you want to build Why would you want a 2006 one? Have you seen the difference between the two? It's 2024. I still want a 2006 Mustang because I like the look." That's what's wrong with our society. And more than likely, that individual is probably like 15, 14, and they grow up on the internet, and the internet tells them that they can troll and they can be a smartass and say stupid stuff and somehow get away with all that. And I'm here to tell you that, no, son, I come from a different era. I come from a different time in life. I come from an era where, you being stupid meant that you got held back in a grade. And unfortunately for them, they, somehow get passed because no child left behind. All right, I got the concrete concourse going, so we'll see how that turns out. All right. We got 6:59. All right. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something straight up. That crap got me through high school. Those functional math tests and those functional tests, boy, I'm telling you, I'd probably still be in high school today if I had to still take that crap. Thank goodness. Anything Bush did right, he definitely got me out of high school. Crazy thing is, I would have graduated early too, with that being included. Oh man, I never forget. I think it was like another school year, and we used to get the agenda. And I checked the agenda. I was like, wait a minute, how come I don't see like the functional math test or anything in this thing? Oh, that's because they got rid of it. I say, word? I'm gone. Your boy is out. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth and ask for his dental records. Leave that. All right, so I got the gates. All I got to do is look at the gates again, see if the gates are right. And then, so yeah, I got all this done. It's still at 81%. To me, 81% right now is just like having 20%. Like, I can get away with so much because, like, what do I have to do? I put the green railing on the other side. I got to put the buildings in. This right here, I'm not worried about that much. Um, you know, and you know the crazy thing is, the clock tower in this game is not in the game. It's not even in the Camden Yards build. I don't know why. I think it's probably copyrighted or something like that. So I had to make one from scratch. That's where most of the memory coming from. So, you know, this is a true as possible scale built Camden Yards. The fencing is a little bit off. Registered trademark, okay. That's why then. That's a shame, bro. You can't put that in game. But to be fair, Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 has that issue with the World Trade Center that you can't put the World Trade Center in there. So I guess and Chrysler Building too. So I guess there's certain buildings that have like artistic licenses that you can't mess with, unfortunately. So womp womp. But guess what? My creation ain't registered trademark. Archmain be dropping a whole bunch of knowledge. He be knowing stuff I don't even know. He the one that told me that there was supposed to be a turn of the century assets that were added. I said, what? I didn't know nothing. I love this crew of people, man. I don't care, dude. I stadium building, not, man. These people are cool as hell to talk to, so give me something. Dude, I'm telling you, when I found out that wasn't in the game, I was about to quit all this stuff. I said, that's the only reason why I was building this thing. Like, but then when I found out I could build this from scratch, I was like, all right, well, you know, looks like a cheap paper mache version, but the further away it is, the better off it looks. I'm just gonna accumulate all this and then okay. Oh, okay, I forgot about that. All right. All right, I don't have that much to do. All I need is I need to put the trees in, and I need to do all the benches and all that stuff there. And then I'll just go back and look at the pictures and everything. And the crazy thing, what frustrates me the most about this um, is that I go to Camden Yards religiously. And it pains me that I cannot, for the life of me, just breeze through this thing the way I need to and the way I want to. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, I'll tell you what, Stadium Center, for all it's worth, I think you uh, make a really good channel doing what you do. I think the build that you had with the classic with the Willie Mays thing is fantastic, especially with the placement of the trees and the buildings and stuff. I think you got a good thing going on there with your channel, man. You and Phil both have good stuff going on, and I think it's at the right time. I will say this. Right now, with these Diamond Dynasty card collecting people jumping ship, basically rearranging furniture on a Titanic, if you must, I think we are at a good, opportune time to take over this community and just run with what we can run with. Because ultimately, we're the only ones giving this game life. That's it. Like, ain't nobody else doing it. So, just run with it, get it, and then, See what happens. Well, folks, I am about to sign off. I would like to thank all the people who came by through here. Max, who stays for like a cup of coffee. Always thank you for the support. Stadium Center, always good talking to you. Anybody else who comes through here, I know I try not to forget people's names, but just know that I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate you guys coming through here. You know, it'd just be me talking to myself, which, whatever, I'm used to that anyway. But nonetheless, it is still great to have people around here who are interested in this game, interested in what we do, interested in getting the ball moving by any means necessary. So I will always be appreciative of that. So I'm going to check out of here. Jim is calling me. Got to get in shape. Got to get my form back. I want you guys to be healthy, be good, be lovable, be kind. Take no crap, take no prisoners. And I will catch you next time.